What's going on? It's Justeeni here. This is part 2 of the Empress Championship from my point of view. This time, we're going against one of, if not the best Empress players, at least that I know, Reaper, who at this point I was terrified to go against. I'm like, I'm just gonna lose. Like, I kind of accepted it at this point. Like, there's just no way. Like, I may have won 4 games, 0 losses. I know, spoiler alert, but like, you should have watched part 1, come on. But yeah, this is where it finally ends. This is where the run is over. Well, I would just go to loser's bracket, of course, so I'm not like super worried about losing because, you know, at least I can still like do stuff after. But again, this is a best of 3. I have host advantage right now, and I'm hoping that maybe I can make something of this. The spawn does not look promising, but I'm going to try my best. So I just workshop. I find my second city, and I'm worried that my third city is going to be right here, which is like really, really hard to reach. So I train another warrior, get riding, and I go for the explorer right off the bat. I don't bother funneling because it's already going where I want it to go. And I explore the middle of the map, and I find Reaper already sitting on a second city, and it gives me an idea because I see this ruins here as well. If I can just attack in the center, I might be able to either take the village, the ruins, or both. And there's some villages here, possibly in the south, that I can get my hands on. And I've got host advantage, plus I found them already, plus I've got this rider, you know. I've got a lot of unit spam going, so I like this idea, and I decide to go for it. It's a risky idea though, because if it doesn't pan out, then I've spent a lot of time and resources not expanding and instead attacking. But I go for it. I go for this siege, and the point of the siege is so then next turn I can do a lot, or I just get this ruins right now. Which, if I'm not mistaken, I get the ruins right now because, well, no, his capital's here. Okay, so if he has a rider here, he can unsiege and then take this ruins. However, that's not what happens, and I get a vet sword from the ruins, which really anything good from the ruins would have just been amazing for me because it would have developed my economy or allowed me to pressure further. Even like a pop ruins or like custo ruins can help me pressure in other ways. But the vet sword he's disgusting here. It completely seals the deal on turn 6, which my plan of getting the ruins and by pressuring the city absolutely worked. Way better than it should have, let's be honest. But hey, that's one way to win. And he resigns because he knows he's just going to lose the city and everything is going to just be terrible because the sword is just going to control the map and it's going to be a nightmare for him. So a really quick game 1. Let's hop into game 2. Alright, so game 2. No longer host advantaged. Instead, Reaper has the host advantage. But I did win game 1, so I'm just hoping, you know what? Worst comes to worst, we still got game 3. Maybe I can make something happen. And by the way, at this point, I have won 5 games in a row. Like, that against top players, no less. Again, these aren't just your average Joe Schmo. Like, these are the best of the best. And somehow, I'm winning. And in this game, I find my second city, but I'm quite devastated here. I know that it is a good Samo spot, but I'm going against one of, if not the best, Empress players ever, and I can't go riding, and he's most likely getting riding. I have to defend for my life. But you know what? Hunting Forestry, it worked for me against Ramdingler, so maybe it's fine. I go for the workshop, prepare to play really defensive, but then this third city, wait, math is really good here. Like, really good. I just have to survive till then, and then I'm in the clear. The spawn's actually really good. I just have to hold on and defend. I send this warrior back for the lighthouse, which it might have been better to instead place the warrior here, but that's just a minor optimization, I guess. So I just train some more warriors, And then, sure enough, there's the riders. He captures the city right next to me, which worries me. I explore it just in case he trained a rider for some reason. It is not a rider, it is a warrior, but one thing that does relieve me is that it is a level 1 city, which means his development is off to a slow start, which means if I survive and just don't lose a city, I basically just win the game. Because I'm going to be way ahead in eco, and he will not be ready for giant pressure. And he just starts chipping away warriors. Again, these warriors are expendable. I just need to buy time. And I am buying time. I get a nice level up. And in just a little bit, I'm going to get math. And I'm going to win the game. Train a bunch of warriors. I just need to hang on. But he sieges. Well, I can unsiege. But I can't. Wait. So I get a Star Runes here. And here's the thing, is if we look at this position, if I did not get a Star Runes, math is 13 stars. I need to place 3 lumber huts. So that's going to be 9 stars. So, oh my goodness. So 13. We're doing math on this channel, I know. Look at my terrible handwriting. Plus 5 for the sawmill. And if you guys know how to do math, you'll know that that equals 27. I do not have 27 stars. I have 15. Although if we chop, then that's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 1 star short. And let's be honest, if I chop all these forests, it is not at all a guaranteed win anymore because I only have 1 giant to play for. So even if I could chop all my forests to somehow unsiege, it's not like I'm getting a free win at that point. But of course, I get the bailout because, of course, why wouldn't I? You know, I just have plot armor at this point. 5-0. Sure, let's get a Star Runes on top of that and just win again. Right? Except again, I am going against one of, if not the best Empress players to ever be on the face of the planet, so it's not like it's gonna be all that free, but I am feeling really good about things because I'm just gonna get a ton of giants. I even have some market spots, so if things come to that, I have the ability to get trade. He gets a vet sword there, but I'm gonna be pressuring so much, and I even get archery because look at all these forests. Now all my warriors are super tanky, and I've got archers, so now if he gets giants, well, I can just shoot them down with archers, and it's just going to be even more pressure. It's just not something you can deal with. And somehow, some way, despite the fact that he had me, he got the game-winning siege that I couldn't break on turn 8. But instead, I've cheated Death. Death himself. That sounded a lot cooler in my head. But I managed to beat the Reaper. And now I am in, I believe, the winners finals at this point. Yes, winners finals. So I'll go ahead and cut to that. All right. So now 6-0, meeting my opponent in the winners finals, Jack Poland, who I have played against before. I actually have a game on this channel against him. Fun fact, I got destroyed. So already, once again, I know I've been saying this, I sound like a broken record, but all these players are extremely, extremely good. And I'm very worried with all these matches. And again, I'm pretty glad that I'm already in winners finals, and I'm basically guaranteed 4th place, I believe, which means I get 25 euros, which I was not expecting to get any, but here I am, somehow. But the spawn looks absolutely awful. Look at all of these blank resources. If If you guys remember from part 1, no villages near those. Applies for Empress and Katsali, and that means that this spawn is not very good. So maybe this is the end of my win streak. I've gone 6-0, but finally things come to an end, right? So I find nothing, again, not very promising, but I do find a village at least. And I've been really liking this opening, by the way, where if I don't find the village, I don't train a warrior and instead train a rider next turn. And then look at this. There is a village here. And it just got taken right next to my capital. That means he's also very close. And also, he has this village right next to my capital. So, I'm screwed. I find this village here, but it's close to his capital most likely, unless it's like here or something. But either way, he's gonna be able to pressure it, and this is pretty rough. And I see him, but he gets climbing, which that actually gives me a little hope. Because if he got climbing, that means he didn't get riding yet. And his spawn might not actually be that good. So, I get the workshop, of course, because the explorer is not funneled. But I see him on this mountain already. And I also go here in case he gets a rider. I just wanted to get vision to be sure. And I step here, hoping... I was hoping that he just didn't have a rider, you know? That I could just catch one lucky break to get things going. You know, when you're in a losing spot, sometimes you gotta take a risk. But also sometimes it doesn't pan out. And he even gets the zone of control here with this warrior. I don't even think that was intentional. He does not have vision. But he does that, and I can't even unsiege. And even if I did unsiege, like, he's just gonna take it back. But I do at least get some kills, and I can actually siege here. I expect he's probably gonna unsiege, but I can force him away from expanding and towards this, and maybe I can get something done. I get climbing to also escape here, and I can start looking at this eastern area. There are villages here, by the way. So I might be able to do something, but it's not looking good because he's gonna have this city and this city both right next to my capital, and I didn't find either at the beginning. Instead, he's getting both of them. So I train a warrior here, just again, I only had 2 stars. And it's all fog that I'm gonna explore anyway. So he captures that, but wait, he didn't unsiege. But then again, it kind of makes sense why he didn't. It's because he can't level this up. The city's useless to him. I mean, not completely useless, but not useful enough to bother defending. That means he's up to something else. But I get the city. My eco's terrible though. I can't even get an explorer off of this until I get mining or forestry. But I can expand here though. It's a bit worrying because if he just gets roads, he can stop me. But I train some units, try to hang on. He hits my rider, which I'm actually happy that he hit this rider instead of this one. So I breathe a little sigh of relief. I get climbing or mining pre-cap so I can start to actually develop my eco. And if we look here, at these riders, 2 out of 3. This one doesn't have any. What else do we have? Another 2 out of 3. That's interesting to me to point out. Maybe those will matter later. Maybe they won't. But I've been bet assigning because when you are in a losing position, you gotta try hard. You gotta try hard a lot. You have to play to every single out. Even when you're winning, honestly, you should play well. But when you're losing, it is especially important. Like I have not been focusing a whole lot on bet assigning. I've been doing it a little bit in the tournament games before, but now I am locked in. I'm like, somehow I have turned this absolute pile of rubbish into a playable spawn. I have no idea how. I thought I'd turn forward, oh, I'm completely losing, but he gave me the city and suddenly why is this actually almost playable? My economy is still horrible, don't get me wrong, and he has roads already. I am nowhere close to getting roads. And he sieges, and I can't unsiege either, but he's not training units. That means his economy's bad too because he just spent it all on roads. I get a lighthouse, I upgrade my capital, and I'm realizing, wait, if I get Smithery, or Or just like a lot of lighthouses, or maybe this ruins as a pop ruins. Maybe I get a giant. And I just heal my units here because I can't unsiege. So why bother? He just kills my rider there. I get the ruins. I go for the siege. Veteran rider! Okay, so maybe we're just getting this back now, right? I even have this rider here, and I can block. I can block both of these, because this warrior can be roted. Okay. So I go there. And wait. This veteran rider is going to save the day. Except it doesn't. At all. And I lose all my units, but I get rewarded with a pop ruins for my troubles. Thank goodness, because if I didn't get that, I probably would have resigned. I'm not gonna lie. So, the reason why I killed this warrior, this looks really weird, but here's a little more context. Yeah. I killed that rider, so then he couldn't kill mine, because now he only has 1 unit to kill. Like, obviously his warrior gets 1 out of 3 kills, but like, it's a lot easier to kill a warrior. It's really hard to vet assign with a warrior, because it's so easy to kill a warrior after it gets a kill, but with riders, they retreat back. So I don't want him to vet assign his riders, and that's why I hit the warrior. It looks really weird, but trust me. But I get the giant, and now I can get Park of Fortune, and I get it here, so then I can border growth for when I get Smithery, this forge spot. I mean, I could have done it with this city, but either way, I've got the forge spot, and I might not even get this city, let's be real. Like, he's got roads, he's got a ton of mobility, and a ton of units that I don't see. And he gets a Fed Rider there, but why does he just send it here? He just throws it right in my face. But I already have units. I can just kill the rider outright. And then I go Smithery pre-cap, of course. Smithery also allows me to level up my capital again. And I'm hanging on, I'm training units. He's pressuring my capital, but it's completely in vain. I'm planning to get a giant there anyway. He's hitting stuff, but I get a resource ruins, of course. You know, the best possible result only. And I get an explorer here. I'm pressuring the city. His eco is terrible. He overinvested in the roads and he can't steal with the giant. I can see his capital. His cities aren't even connected yet. And I'm getting the giant spam going. I make a sword here so I can just further intensify the pressure. I've got 3 giants to his none. And wait, I'm up in cities. It's 5-4. What like, you guys remember the beginning of the game? I mean, he still has 2 cities next to my capital. And he finally gets a giant, but at this point, my advantage is pretty clear. Again, I have 22 star per turn. If we want to just look, like, he's got 7 here. Then another 3 for 10. And then this, which is being sieged, which was only for 11 and 14. Like, his eco's not even close to mine. I'm up in cities. I've got better techs, even though I don't have roads. I'm about to take this city, and if I get forestry, I can chop this for another forge spot, or this one, actually. This is even better. And what the heck? But my spawn was terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know, like, how this... I don't even know what happened. I think it's because he overinvested in roads that ultimately cost him the game. So I actually decided to get roads here pre-cap just to connect my cities because I can. I also get the Eye of God, of course. It's really close too. Yeah, but I barely get it. And yeah, roads with the swords are going to be very nice, and just roads in general are nice. It also helps me if he goes for an all-out cap siege. I am thinking about that. I'm thinking about his outs. I could just get Grand Bazaar or just connect everything to my capital. So at this point, he basically has no way to win. And I know that because I'm not gonna mess this up. Like, I worked all the way to this point. I'm not gonna throw it away for some stupid reason. Like, we're taking this W. We're not leaving our capital undefended. We're attacking his capital right back. This siege is unbreakable, by the way. And yeah, one of the most intense games I have had somehow with a bad spawn against a pro player, and I win. Without host advantage either. So now, on to game 2. Alright. Now game 2, I have host advantage, and it's a pretty sharp contrast from game 1. My spawn actually looks really good. Not a lot of mountains in the way, and I've got some clear potential village spots. So, I get things going. I confidently explore the center, and I find a ruins too. Wait, this spawn is amazing. It's got everything I need. I get riding, and I make my rider, so I can funnel that explorer, naturally. And I meet him already. That's a really good sign. Especially as host, you want to meet the opponent early so you can disrupt them a lot. And he even moves his warrior straight into me. And this is really bad, because now I can bounce my rider and start to explore the south sooner. But then this happens. Wait, hold on. Let's go back. He uses farming. And that's his capital. I know that's his capital, because this is his second city he just got. Why did he buy farming? I mean, there's only one reason why he'd do that. Because here's the thing, yeah, if he's just doing it for 2 level 3 cities, that's way too expensive. The ROI on that is terrible. He's doing that for one thing, and this is also why he moved the warrior here. Because he wanted to do this to meet me, so we could get a giant. And I knew as soon as I saw those farms, I'm like, wait a sec, yeah, that is the only thing he could be up to here. And if he's not up to that, then I've already won the game because my spawn is great. But I am a little worried because I'm like, wait, I just rushed like straight into riders. And if you get some early giants, that could be a problem. I got a vet sword, which is actually pretty nice. And again, I use that rider bounce to explore faster. And I can get a workshop, develop my eco. I will need to develop it because I will need to go into archers soon. I go here because I suspect there's a village here, and I don't know if he's gone there yet. Let's rewind that. That warrior moved twice. How did it move twice? Well, because he got a giant. So now I know, confirmed, turn 6 giant. And he takes the city too. And at least I have a plan though. I was prepared for this. Except I mess up. Wait, why did I do that? I messed up the math. I got nervous. I should have just upgraded this, because I thought I had enough to get to level 3, but I didn't. And that's gonna slow me down, especially in a moment where I'm under pressure like this. That's the last thing I want to be doing. Suddenly, like, I had a plan, but it might not come into fruition all that well. I also keep them off the city with these riders exploring here. But I'm just developing my economy so I can just get the archer spam going as soon as possible. I need a lot of unit capacity for the archers, so my cities do need to be high level. And there's another giant. Wait, I did not have a plan for that one. Let me tell you. I did not have a plan for that one. And that giant could go towards my capital. How am I supposed to deal with 2 giants? I don't even have my archers ready. And he's gonna have 2 giants. Like, I need to get a move on. Suddenly that mistake from earlier is a really big deal, because that slowed me down a lot. But I trained my archers. Yeah, we're still in it. It's not over till it's over. And he's sending this giant here, and it's pretty clear he intends to send this giant straight towards my capital. And look at the defense here. I was prepared for this, but I don't have a plan for this giant yet, and it's 2 turns away from sieging my capital. So I hit with the rider, and I forget which city. Oh yeah, this rider was on my capital. You can actually check which city. So yeah, I sacrificed the rider, so then I can train another archer. I get an explorer from the ruins, and I'm just hoping, please, get the lighthouse. And it's 1 tile off. I'm like, no, this can't be. I thought I had it. Because I had a plan for this giant. But then this one plus the bad math earlier. I might have just totally screwed up this game, where I had a way better spawn than last time. And he's gonna be able to take the city too. I mean, I'm not even thinking about that. Like, okay, it's gonna be a 4-on-4 if I somehow survive this, so even if I somehow defend this, I'm not even out of it yet. And you can't siege this turn, thank goodness. But then he also roads his riders in, because his eco, fun fact, is doing amazingly. So he can afford roads, no problem. And again, I can chip things down. I can chip this giant and wait, I can survive. It's only got 22 HP and I've got all these surrounding archers, but what about this giant though? This one here. That's why I bought forestry. Why did I get forestry? To level up this city, of course, to train another archer. I actually don't train an archer though. Why? Well, because I need to defend. And he goes in, kills an archer, really annoying. And also, why did I move my sword like this? This vet sword? Why did I move it up? Well, because he's gonna siege anyway, that's why. So I'll put it on this defense boosted towel instead of just losing it. Because once I unsiege, I want to be able to pressure his capital maybe. Because that's my out. I could actually do that because he's not going to giant pop. And maybe I've got something there. So he sieges with this giant, and he sieges with this giant, of course. But unfortunately, this is a pretty rough spot. But I'm very glad I saved those stars, because those will come in handy. Now, how do I unsiege this though? There's only 4 population here. So I unsiege this first, because I can do that. I can kill this. I pew pew that. And then I just unsiege with the Gate of Power. All those kills earlier to nail the unsiege. And if you're wondering how close I was to Gate of Power at the start of the turn, 6 out of 10. How many units can I kill in total this turn? 4. Actually 5. But still, it's very close. In fact, if I was actually 1 unit closer to Gate of Power, I actually would have been able to get a nice Justeeni, which I spent a lot of time trying to calculate it. Unfortunately, it just barely does not pan out, from what I could tell in the live game. But either way, he resigns afterwards because I'm about to counter push with not only a giant of my own, I'm about to shred his giant, I'm about to pressure his capital like crazy, I'm going to get another giant with the Park of Fortune, and win the game, because I'm literally just going to place Park of Fortune, and then 2 lumber huts and call it a day. And he can't really make any more giants, because he just did. He just made all the giants he could. So he just decided to call it here, and then suddenly, I am now in the grand finals. 8 games, 8 wins, 0 losses. But we're saving the grand finals for part 3. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.